Welcome to this deep dive on coastal resilience. Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine you are buying a brand new smartphone,
Right, right. Pretty standard.
but instead of the battery degrading the second you take it out of the box, it miraculously upgrades itself over time.
So it actually gets stronger the longer you own it.
Exactly, it gets stronger and more efficient. And that is exactly what healthy coastal ecosystems do. Yet, we finance coastal protection totally backward.
Yeah, we really do.
As taxpayers, you and I are funding concrete seawalls that basically start crumbling on day one. But we leave ecosystems like mangroves, which actually appreciate in value, completely off the ledger. So if nature gets stronger over time, why aren't we treating it like a financial asset?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really because the accounting and the biology are speaking two completely different languages.
So,
I mean, ecological maturation just isn't the same thing as investable cash flow. You can't just, go out to the coast, plant a mangrove shoot, declare it an asset on your balance sheet, and expect someone to hand you a check.
right, the real-world math gets messy fast. Actually, let's pivot to a specific biological win we just saw in 2024.
Ah, the dugong sighting.
Yeah, exactly. Off the coast of Kep in Cambodia, they spotted a dugong, this really rare marine mammal, after a super long absence, which is fantastic news for the seagrass habitat recovering there.
It's a huge biological win.
It is, but I have to push back on the premise here. Does a rare sea cow swimming by actually prove a coastline is financially protected from a hurricane?
No. What's fascinating here is that a biological win does not equal an economic baseline. I mean, you can't underwrite a dugong.
Right.
To actually finance nature, engineers need hazard-specific data. They need to know exactly how much wave energy is being stopped. We saw this modeled really clearly after the 1999 supercyclone in Odisha, India.
Oh, where the mangrove belts were wider.
Exactly. Villages protected by wider mangrove belts had measurably fewer deaths.
But wait, how exactly are the trees stopping a massive storm surge? Like, is it just a solid wall of wood?
No, it's more like a physical friction grid. The complex, tangled root systems of those mangroves literally strip the kinetic energy right out of the rushing water.
Wow.
Now, to be totally objective with the sources, the government's early warning systems also saved a massive number of lives during that event.
Sure.
Ecosystems aren't, magic shields,
Yeah.
but they do provide a measurable physical service. The real problem is time.
Right, because it takes decades for those root systems to grow thick enough to provide that friction grid. I
Exactly.
mean, we can't exactly tell vulnerable coastal communities to just hold their breath and wait for trees to grow while storms are actively brewing.
Which means we need a bridge between immediate safety and long-term ecological growth. We don't have to choose between a gray concrete wall and a green mangrove forest.
Right, and here's where it gets really interesting. Look at Damak, Indonesia. The local community implemented this brilliant hybrid solution.
Using the permeable bamboo structures.
Yeah. They essentially built a temporary scaffold out in the water. It breaks the incoming wave energy just enough, and it catches the suspended sediment floating in the ocean.
So as that sediment builds up behind the bamboo, it basically creates this perfect, shallow, calm environment for the mangroves to safely recolonize on their own.
It's a gradient, not an ideological war between gray and green.
It's highly pragmatic, but even when these hybrid systems work perfectly, you still hit the financing reality. The sources note that globally, mangroves avert an estimated $65 billion in expected property damage every single year.
That is a massive number. I mean, surely banks want in on $65 billion of value.
Well, you'd think so, but avoided damage is not bankable cash. You cannot take the absence of a loss to a bank and use it to pay off a loan.
I see.
To make an ecosystem a real financial asset, you need a legally bound payer. Like someone who financially benefits from the protection and is actually willing to fund it. A groundbreaking example of this is in Quintana Roo, Mexico. A coastal management trust funded by local beneficiaries like hotels and local governments actually bought a parametric insurance policy on the Mesoamerican reef.
Hold on, I'm stuck on the logistics here.
Yeah.
How does a coral reef receive an insurance payout? And what makes it a parametric policy?
Parametric just means the policy pays out automatically based on a predefined trigger, like a hurricane hitting a specific wind speed.
Oh, so you aren't waiting months for insurance adjusters to arrive and assess everything.
Exactly. So when Hurricane Delta hit in 2020, the policy instantly triggered and paid $850,000 directly to the trust.
Wow, that fast.
Yeah, and that rapid liquidity meant they could immediately send trained teams out to repair the damaged coral. They were fixing the living infrastructure that protects those very same hotels.
That makes total sense. So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, whether you're paying a coastal tourism levy, a local business tax, or just regular income tax, we are all the beneficiaries footing the bill for coastal defense.
Right, we are paying for concrete to degrade when we could be investing in nature based on the real structural services it provides.
We just have to bridge that gap between the biological reality and the financial ledger.
Exactly.
It really makes you rethink what a true asset is. But I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder today.
Okay, what is it?
If we successfully turn ecosystems into financial assets with balance sheets, if we finally make that miraculous self-upgrading battery bankable, do we risk treating nature only as a financial utility?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right. If a specific species, like our rare sea cow in Cambodia, doesn't happen to balance the spreadsheets, do we end up ignoring its inherent worth entirely? Something to eat them all over. Thanks for joining this deep dive.